And then, all right, so we are officially recording
All right.
and battery power looks good, so we're in good shape. And
Absolutely.
how does sound? And oh, there's my right hair. I always get
Oh, you
confused.
look amazing, babe.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. And if we can get like a timer also,
Oh,
just so we
well, yes, you do. There's a timer right there. So
yeah, but I
20
can't
seconds
see
on.
that. Okay,
Mhm.
perfect.
Well, yeah.
Now that I know.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, we have a general idea. We're not typically too concerned about timing, but
No, but I don't, yeah, we don't want to go on long.
right.
So if I'm talking like this, Phoenix, is this okay? Can you hear me fine and everything? And if this is my normal level for the evening, does that work?
Yes.
Okay.
And mine as well.
All right.
I will basically be in this position. So if that microphone placement is okay.
That's perfect.
Awesome.
And we're recording here.
All right. So we're ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. We said this was 46, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We're off.
Well, hey, everybody.
Hey everyone.
Welcome to the Accidental Swingers podcast.
Welcome.
We are episode 46.
Episode 46.
It's always a countdown to
I know.
which episode we're on next.
We had to double check before
We did, because it's been a hot minute.
Yes.
It's been a hot minute
It has
since
been.
we recorded our last podcast. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're very excited to be back, though. There's been a lot that's been going on. It's been very crazy, in good ways and not good ways. And so, yeah. So we're just thought we'd share this part of our lives with you guys as well, as to about what's going on and where we are and the things that are happening. There's a lot of super fun things that have happened and are coming up. And so we wanted to kind of talk about all of those things.
Yes. Yeah, and as you all know, we put it all out there for you. And
We do.
yeah.
We try to. So anyway, so what we're going to do is we wanted to talk a little bit about this episode is a little bit different. But I think actually we've been doing so much and we haven't really even talked in about 4 weeks or so. And so I think it would be good to kind of tell everybody what we've been up to
I
and
think
what's
so.
coming up, because there's so many wonderful opportunities. We got so much stuff happening the second half of the year. And that if you guys want to join us, there's a lot of opportunities to do that as well. So but what have we been up to, babe?
So yeah, I mean, first of all, we have a crazy summer and fall coming up,
Mhm.
but the spring has been amazing, and we haven't released since May, and so a lot has happened. And so the first thing that we did after our 420 episode, which has been very well received, by the way,
Yeah.
yeah, we went to the Tamperiodic Cinco de Mayo party, which was fucking off the charts amazing.
It was.
It was incredible. And so this was their first event, and they nailed it. They hit it out of the park. And so we are so excited that we're going to go to their next event in August, which is already sold out, but
Yeah.
the hotels are sold out. So they have a main hotel, which is sold out, and then they have an overflow hotel, which is sold out. There are still day passes available. And so go to tampaerotic.com and you can get your day passes for that. But back to the Cinco de Mayo party, I mean, it was so fun. And we saw so many people there that we friends, and we met new friends. And it was just incredibly well run, very professionally done. And it was a great, great weekend.
If you are in this area, I would strongly suggest making sure that you are on their mailing list and
Yeah.
or follow them on their socials, because this is really they have done a really great job. And this is something that we've been hoping would happen within our area, because it's so nice to have a quality takeover. And the venue itself, which is, let's admit it, lifestyle takeovers, they're not always in the Ritz-Carlton, right?
I've never been to one in the Ritz-Carlton.
Me neither. So I'm going to guess they're not always in the Ritz-Carlton. Although I'm guessing that there are some private ones. I don't know if anybody knows any, let us know. But besides that, they're not always in the most upscale areas. This particular hotel that they secured for the last one and for this one it's in a great location. It's a little industrial, but it's not like creepy or weird. And the hotel itself is very nice.
It
I mean,
is. It
it's
is.
it's a really good the layout is good. They did a great job of coordinating with everybody and everything. And so I think they really, that's when you said they hit it out of the park.
Mm. It
It,
starts with the hotel.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it was a great venue. The pool area is amazing. The safety and security, it was great. I
Yeah.
felt safe the whole time. It was just wonderful. Now you can't be naked because it's not a naked resort, but you can wear pasties. And there were a lot of women that had on their pasties. And so if you decide to come out in August and or future events, yeah, so you can get, a little saucy if you want to. I would say there may have been a few pasties that accidentally
Slipped
fell out.
off. Yeah.
Oops.
All right.
What's gonna happen with that?
Pasty malfunction.
Yes, yeah. Well, as evidenced by the glitter pasties that were glued to the floor on Sunday morning, I think there were a few that may have fallen off. But yeah, it was really, really fun. It was a really great event, and yet they did a great job.
Yeah, we loved it.
And we'll be back, yeah, like you said, in August.
August, yeah. I think the third weekend in August. I'm not certain. I don't have it in my notes, but definitely, if you're in the Tampa area or would like to travel to the Tampa area, definitely come. And it was amazing.
And we'll be doing some of our Swinky Life kink stations
Mhm.
also. We're going to be doing some kind of hands-on stations so that you can kind of come and see what we've got going on with the Swinky Life side stuff too. So that ought to be fun.
Yes.
That's something that's becoming more popular and we really love doing it. So we started that off at the Hotwives of Phoenix event. Actually, we've been doing it for a while, but it's kind of, we're seeing what people really enjoy, and people love coming in and seeing all the different things that we have and the tools and stuff. And so it's really fun to watch them see what there is and to learn how to use it. And we love it, letting folks experiment. So it's really fun.
Yeah.
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 So that'll be awesome. And
Yes.
that's in August.
It's in August.
Mhm.
Yes. And that is the back to school party
Right.
that Tampa Erotic is putting on.
That's
Again,
coming up.
tampaerotic.com, and on SDC, they're Tampa Erotic. And so, yes, look them up and come on out. It's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. We'll be there at that one. And then also at this past spring, we went out to, we were honored and privileged to be invited to what was called the Ethical Non-Monogamy Summit. It was actually hosted by Brian and Brenna from the Front Porch Swingers. They actually kind of organized it.
Mhm.
Thank you. And we were invited to attend, and so it was an amazing opportunity for us. A lot of amazing people that we have looked up to for
Yes.
quite a while in this industry were in that room, and we were very, very, very lucky
Yeah,
to
we're very humbled to be there.
be a part of that team. Yes. And so within that, and there'll be more coming out about that that group and what we're doing and everything that's happening within that. But at the time, which was 6 weeks or so ago.
About a month
Gosh,
ago.
it doesn't. Yeah, the
Ti-
time has
time is-
flown.
yeah.
I know. So, but when we went out there, we went out to Houston. So we added in a couple of extra days to be able, because we've never been out there to do any lifestyle stuff. So it was really fun, and we were able to visit the Pendulum Club North there in Houston and Colette's in Houston. So,
Yes.
and actually, a lot of the folks from the summit went to both events as well, because the Pendulum Club and John and Jackie with Colette's were wonderful enough to open up their spaces for us. So it was really a great treat, and we had
It was awesome.
an amazing time. Those are two great clubs. Now, the Pendulum Club has multiple locations within Houston, so we went to the Pendulum Club North. So, and we've heard amazing things about the other two. Very different. Apparently, they're all very different vibes. Don't know much about them. Next time we go back, maybe we'll hit one of the other ones to see what they're like.
I think we definitely will.
But we very much enjoyed, because we were in the northern part of the city, so we went to Pendulum Club North, and it was really it was really fun. It was I will say, so you talk about how lifestyle stuff has to be is not necessarily at the Ritz-Carlton. When we pulled up to try and find the Pendulum Club, do you remember what happened? It's very industrial, and
As most clubs are. I mean, let's be real.
so anybody who's ever been to a lifestyle club knows this. So yeah, so it was very industrial, but the whole building looked like it was for sale or for lease or something. It looked like I don't even know what it was. So we're like, this cannot be the right place. This is, and how many times have we done this? We know better. We know it's the right place. You're in the right place, but we kept driving around. I'm like, but there's not any cars. And so of course the way that we came in was the last, was the farthest away from wherever we were supposed to be, the way we entered the parking lot. So we ended up almost completely circling the whole place and saying, I don't think we're in the right place, until we finally rounded the very last corner. And then there were a
That's
bunch
where
of
all the
cars,
cars
and we're
were.
like,
And the flag said Pendulum Club.
well, actually, it didn't say it just says TPC. I think it just
That's right,
yeah, it doesn't say Pendulum Club. So we were like, do we think that that's it? Yes, the hidden doorway with the lights around it that looks like it's a speakeasy. That's exactly what it looked like.
Mhm.
So we went up to it. We're like, okay, this is clearly got to be what it is. And then yes, we saw the TPC flag there. And then it's so different when you walk inside. They've done an amazing job. It's a great club. It's beautifully decorated. The playrooms looked amazing. The vibe and the ambiance were just great.
Yeah.
We said that if we lived there, of course, Colette's was very similar the next night
Right.
in the sense of how much we enjoyed that space. But both of those were great, and so I highly recommend TPC North. And yeah, it was just really really fun. They had a great DJ and stuff. And then and then the next night we went to Colette's
Yep.
there in Houston, and that was so fun,
Yeah, we had an amazing time.
so great. Very different clubs. And I think you guys in Houston are really, really lucky,
You really are.
because
Yeah.
if the other pendulum clubs are also different, I mean, if I mean, that's like four very different vibes and places and spaces that you can go to. I think that's really cool. I don't know. We don't really have that kind of stuff here.
Well, we kind of do. We kind of don't. I mean, we have, eyes. Then we have
But
here
eyes
at
is
Caliente.
like-
By the way,
I know.
we're
I
at
wasn't.
Caliente tonight.
In case people notice, and they
Haven't
hear
figured
our
that out. Yeah.
outside recording. Yeah, we're not quite sitting in our incredibly fancy home studio, our bedroom. But no, we're in our fancy outside studio, Caliente. Um, sometimes we're inside our fancy studio at Caliente. Oh yeah, I know we are. Yeah, so well, we were gonna talk about that in a second, but that's okay. But yeah, so back to Houston really fast. It was an amazing trip. We had such a great time. We Because we were there doing other things, we did not have the opportunity to really explore the playrooms or meet people as much as we would have liked to. That was not the purpose of the trip, but it was amazing to be able to go visit the lifestyle clubs and things like that. And next time, uh,
It'll be on.
we're gonna test out the playrooms and let
Yeah.
you know. Although
Well,
I was just gonna say, go ahead, you can talk about that.
Crimson and I
Yeah.
did at Colette. So at the Friday night at TPC, we had to be up and be at the E&M summit at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and so
Yeah, it's early morning.
so it was an early night for us. But then the following night at Colette, Crimson and I, had a really nice time in one of the playrooms, and the playrooms are great. She's doing a little dance over there. The playrooms are awesome and very nice, and it's a great space. Both clubs are just great spaces, and so we had an amazing time at both, and we can't wait to go back.
That is true. That is true. And so we will let you guys know when we go back. If you were in that area, you want to head to that area and visit. Actually, we will be back.
In August.
We'll be
early
back
August,
in,
yeah.
yeah, the plan is that we're going to be back in August. So we'll talk about that in just 2 seconds as well. But anyway, so that was Houston, and that was a few weeks ago. And what we were going to say after that, we came to Caliente for Memorial Day, which is where we are now. That's what the segue for that was going to be. So it's our monthly recording at Caliente, which is where we are now. We did come for Memorial Day weekend, which is one of the it really is one of their main weekends.
Oh, it was so much fun.
So fun.
Yeah, we were here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, we really did. We spent the
Yeah.
entire weekend here. It was really great. It was amazing people. Met so many fun folks, chatted with so many folks, lots of folks from out of town, holiday weekend, so of course. But yeah, that was really, really fun. Oh, and of course, they had their bands are amazing in the nightclub. The shows were just fantastic. So
Yeah, that
always
was a TL Jenkins
and
and
a no
No
filter,
Filter weekend. Oh my God, yeah, there
which
was some.
yeah, which
Yeah,
we
love
love.
it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, but I think that also, we looked at our schedule coming up this summertime too, and the reality is that we actually have quite a few weekends, or at least times that we're coming back
Yeah,
to Cali. We'll be here quite a bit for our just for fun and different events that are going on. So yeah, if you're here, we're very welcome to be here.
yeah,
Yeah, so
and so
let us
follow.
know if you are
Yeah,
coming.
follow us on Cassidy and SDC and Instagram, and we put up when we're going to be here, and so come out and meet us.
Yeah,
We love meeting people.
please.
Just walking through the bar just now, somebody said, "Hey, we love your podcast."
Oh, and I forgot where we were, and I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, yeah." Of course, Tristan's wearing his accidental swing
Well, yeah,
t-shirt. I forgot to wear mine. I was wearing my purple shirt, and I thought it was, but it's not. Well,
it's a Fourth Street filling
it's a
station,
4th Street
bar and grill.
in Cocoa Beach, Florida.
If you're ever in Cocoa Beach, Florida, go. It's amazing. We had so much fun
I
there.
always tell people I do not buy t-shirts very many places where I go ever at all. You have to really impress me for me to buy one of your shirts.
This is valued real estate right here, and so yeah,
Those are my
yeah,
boobs. My boobs are the valued real estate. Yeah, they are.
yeah, they
It's
are.
an extra large billboard. So yeah, but that was a great place. Yeah. So I thought I was wearing my accidental swingers t-shirt, but I'm not. And then also coming up, our favorite event of the year, always,
God, yes.
always Naughty New Orleans. Naughty New Orleans is coming up in 2 weeks. We will be there in 2 weeks. I know,
Yeah,
and
10 days. You're right.
it'll be so fast and so furious, and we are so excited. There's so much going on this year, and we'll see how it goes. This will be the first year that I'm helping out with the education, so I'm actually doing some work while I'm there. We're going a little.
She's the naughty headmistress, if you don't already know.
Yep.
I love that.
I have to remember to find my outfit for the naughty headmistress look that
Yeah.
that I should wear. Yeah. Anyway, but we're heading to that, and that's always just an amazing time. Our Discord group has been up and running for a couple of weeks, and we actually had our first Zoom call. We call it accidental speed dating, where we all chat with each other in groups, and it was really fun. It was really fun. We did that
Yeah.
last night. So that was really great. So we're really excited about that coming up too. So, events that you can join us in. If you're tired of hearing us talk about these events, would you like to join us at any of these events? I think that's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea.
I think you totally should.
We would love to meet you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And come on some of these crazy adventures with us. You have no idea the shit that happens. Just even trying to record a podcast here at a Caliente is always an adventure. And so I wrote down all the different events that are coming up that we actually know that we're scheduled for mostly at this point in time for the rest of the year. We've got Splash Houston that's coming up in August. We've got Splash Fort Lauderdale that's coming up in September. Pod Bash in Vegas is in September. And then the first weekend of October is Naughty Sin City, which is also in Vegas. And then even at the beginning of 2024, if you guys want to plan that,
You're going there?
I am.
All right.
I'm
Oh, we should. Yeah, we should go there.
plans. We're hoping to be going to Naughty Beach. And I don't think I'm allowed to say anything yet. So just stay tuned for like a special announcement in a couple of weeks about another event that's happening right after Naughty Beach in the same place and area that have a little kinky spin to it. Hmm.
Hmm.
Another trip that might have a little kinky naughty spin to it.
We may stay in Mexico for another week.
We
I don't know.
We might. So we'll see what happens there. But you can find all of those events, any events that we are attending, that we support, that we are affiliates with. You can find those on our website. If you go to our website, accidentalswingers.com, click on events, it will come up. You'll see the ones that we are actually attending and then other ones that we support. we would love for you guys, if you are deciding or thinking about going to any events and you want to go someplace where we are, we would love that. Please look at where we're going and then message us and tell us that you'll be there. And if we have enough people, we get groups together and we all chit chat and talk before we go. It doesn't have to be as big as Naughty in New Orleans. It could be something smaller. And it could be a group of 10 or 12 of us that are just chit chatting and talking about it. We like to connect folks and really like for folks to be able to go and have a great time. So we would love for you to come and join us at some of these events. If you go through our website and sign up, it is our affiliate links. Most of them are, not all of them, but most of them are, which doesn't cost you anything, obviously, but it does give us a little bit of affiliate revenue from that. So we put all of that affiliate income into actually doing things when we are able to get together with our listeners and with you guys when you travel with us. For instance, we like to do special things for everybody. So for instance, this year at Naughty in New Orleans, we're buying all of our listeners that are coming with us. They're getting special lanyards that they will wear with their badges if they so choose. But that's our gift to them that will help them identify each other and stand out. We also have a couple little gift bags and goodies and things like that that we like to treat everybody to. So for us, that's our way of when you guys thank us for doing what we do by supporting us through affiliate links and things like that, we also like to give back and say thank you.
Right.
And that's how we do that, is by then turning around and saying, let's have a party.
Right, exactly.
Let's have a party and let's give out some presents, because that sounds amazing. Yeah.
It's kind of how we roll.
That is how we
Yeah.
roll. So if you would like to join us on any of these trips, we would love, love, love to have you with us and meet you and get to know you and hear your stories and who knows what else. You never know. So all
Wow.
of this, I know. You never know.
You
just
never
never
know.
You
That's
never know.
exactly
That's what
right.
we do. We're adult lifestyle folks.
Yeah.
So yeah. So go to our website, click on events, and you'll see where we're going. So with all of that, let's talk about what we're here to talk about today. So part of everything that has come up and talking about how busy we are and these things that have come up and the fact that we haven't done an episode in a while. And I said to Tristan about a week ago or a week or two ago that the reason we haven't done an episode in a while, so it's really important for us to be open and transparent with you. And I asked Tristan, and we talked about this, about doing an episode talking about why we haven't put out a new episode that talks about our stories. And this has been part of my journey and part of wanting to, I know I might get a little weepy. Part of my, though, I told Tristan this is really important for me to share this with everybody, because I am a woman in my mid 50s, and life and my body and things are changing for me. And we started talking about it a couple weeks ago, and I said, I'm not the only woman that's going through this, and we're not the only couple
Right.
that's going through this, and we're not the only marriage that is going through this, whether or not we're in the lifestyle or not.
Right.
So I wanted to share what's going on with me, and we wanted to talk very candidly about how it's affecting us and our lifestyle journey and our relationship. And the reason we wanted to do that is because we get such great feedback from you guys, people writing to us and saying, thank you for being honest and transparent and open about what you're going through. And so this was important for us to talk about. So it's not always wine and roses. Even in the accidental swinger household, there's lots of laughs. There are always lots of laughs. And lately there's been a lot of kind of tough times. So, for
But there's
me,
always a lot of love.
there is a lot of love.
There may not always be laughs. There may be tough times, but there's always a lot of love. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you can interrupt me and say that anytime
Yeah.
you want. Oh, thanks, babe. So there's always love, and there's always, I think we've worked really hard at, especially these last 5 years, of being able to learn how to be accepting of each other saying, I need the time and the space to take care of myself. And I think that that is something that's been so valuable that we've learned. And I've also learned to start to be a little bit more proactive in saying, I need these things to take care of myself because I've never needed these things before. So let me explain a little bit. So you all know I'm dealing with some issues with my mom, and it comes and goes. And so there was a lot of really not stressful time. And the last couple of months have been very stressful. And so, stressful with that relationship and that her health and all of these things that I have to do. And then we add on some work stuff onto that. And then we add on and a lot of amazing trips and travel. And that's like my place. That's the only thing that feels good. It's like I finally there's something I can leave and I can go and I can escape for a little while. But it's been very challenging. And all of that, though, even though the traveling offers kind of a respite, it also is stressful because it takes me out of my environment and then I'm worried about my family and things like that. So my stress and anxiety, which I have never really struggled with, I've always been pretty normal with it. I don't really even know what normal is anymore. But I've always dealt with people and worked with people and lived with people who suffer from stress and anxiety and depression, and I've never experienced any of that to a level that I have started to experience it. So I've never been in places where I'm having a great day and then all of a sudden the whole feeling washes over you and everything changes without any kind of something, no event, no nothing, no catalyst. And I didn't understand that for a very long time. And that has started to happen to me. So it's been very challenging because I don't know if it's a hormone thing. I don't know if it's a happiness thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I've been struggling. So trying to balance those hormones. I'm at that age and stage of my life where this is happening for me. So my body is changing. I'm moving in from, whatever the one biological stage, physiological stage to my old lady stage, whatever that's called. And so my body is doing all those adjustments and that's not going well either. I'm so jealous of all the ladies who say, go get the pellets. And oh my God, it's this miracle and this wonderful thing. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and finally been able to be like, okay, I can go get pellets. And didn't, it wasn't the miracle pill. It didn't work as well as I thought it was. Matter of fact, there were some other complications and issues that came from that, but that we were able to discover. So that's good. But there's just all these fucking bullshit life things going on. And when Tristan and I talked and we really sat down and said, we know we are really far behind in getting an episode done. And I looked at him and I said, I cannot sit across from you and pretend that everything is like it was in 2019. And when we're telling our stories, so we go back in our stories, we're still stuck in 2019. And it was hot and fresh and sexy and fun. And I was on fire and everything was just off the charts. And it doesn't take away from that, but it's really hard for me to go back and feel that and talk about it in a way that fully represents where I was at the time. And part of the struggles of where I am emotionally is that sometimes I look across at my husband and I go, ugh. And we've talked about this. So this is not something that he's hearing for the first time. This is just like anything else. It's just like a marriage. Oh my
It's a
God, we're
regular
married, people. We've been together for 31 years now. Yeah. So it's just normal life. But we live our life a little bit in front of some folks. And though it was important for us to be able to sit and come and talk about the fact that it's not easy and you're going to hit these same road bumps. And we don't have answers for you right now. Um, but to know that we're all going to experience different levels of our journey. So that's kind of where I've been. How has this been for you?
Of course, it's been very challenging because the person that I love the most in my life is struggling and hurting. And because of things that are completely out of your control and certainly out of my control. And so that's very painful for me. And, you know, I always want to solve everything that I can solve for you, understanding, of course, that, my ability to solve things for you is relatively limited, but I always want to do what I can do. And so, what I can do for you, which really is all I can do for you, is to be understanding and patient and loving. Well, that's what I can do for you. And everything I can do to support you. I know you've been very unhappy and have had a lot of stress and a lot of very difficult situations and a lot of difficult dynamics with your family and a lot of, well, actually all of which I really can't do anything about.
Right.
And so, so that in itself is very frustrating for me because, as I said, I like to be able to fix things for you, but there's nothing I can fix here. And so that's for me very frustrating. But I'm at least aware of it, and so that awareness has allowed me to just say, all right, I'm going to just be there for you and listen to you and help you when I can, and feel confident that when you need me, you'll tell me and you'll let me know.
And I thank you for that.
Hmm.
And that I'm going to try
Yeah.
to do that because sometimes I may, people we expect people will understand and know, but we're getting better at talking through a lot of this.
Well, and as we've said throughout our podcast journey and throughout our married journey, we're very much in tune with one another, and we are both very empathetic people, and we tend to be. We usually know what's going on with each other, and I can't understand this because I'm not a woman, and so I don't understand. When I can't understand my body's not doing what I'm used to. I can't understand that. And so all I can do is be empathetic because I can't understand it.
Right.
And same with your family. Your family dynamic's very different than mine. And so, I can be empathetic, but I don't understand it. And so those are some automatic walls that we have in place with one another that that I'm not used to. I'm not used to having walls between us, and so that's something that's just happened, but it's necessary because of just where we are.
Right.
So that's been hard for me, but that's with our interpersonal relationship, and um, nothing to do with the lifestyle at all. That's just us. And this is just us we're real people with real problems in real life. And so, yeah,
Kids,
oh
parents,
yeah.
family, all that shit. Yeah.
Let's not even get started on the
I
kids.
know.
Yeah, no, let's
A source. Like they're just
they're
whatever.
just
But yeah.
there. They're just playing video games in our house for free. So, but I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that.
I think though the thing and listening to you talk and say that and I thank you very much for that. And we have I think the thing where we've gotten better at in the last 5 years is, and we've talked about this in other ways through the podcast and talking about it through our growth experiences, our own self journeys, self-esteem and confidence and things like that. We've talked about the fact that we've learned we need to have our own time to be able to digest and process and think about things. And so like a couple weeks ago, I had an issue with something that had happened. And so I actually sent you, we texted a little bit about it first. And I sent you an email and I said, I need to send you the email to tell you where I am, but I really can't talk about this right now, but I need you to know that it's not you, that I think that you are a horrible person. I love you. This thing happened and I want to talk about, eventually we need to work on that. The other thing happened and I want to work on that. And there was all these different things. And I said, I need the time to process it. And I need the time to decide what that means for me. And I need the time to be able to come to you and say, here was the problem. Here's what I didn't like that happened. Here's what I would like to happen the next time. But I knew it was going to take me a while to even get to that point. And so I feel like we were successful, even though we have
Well,
not even talk. Well, we
Right.
talked about some of it because there's a lot of chunks of places that we need to talk about, and we kind of picked low hanging fruit, but that made sense.
And for me, the strategy, I mean, the same is perfect for me as well because it gave me the heads up, like, oh, okay, this is an issue, so I can think about it too, so that we can, individually think about what happened, and so that we didn't blow up at each other. We just, it's just the way we do things. We're cerebral, we think about things, and so, but just knowing that something was an issue for you allowed me the space to say, oh, okay, I'll think about that too.
And I think the thing that was so important for me was because, again, this is one of those times I didn't want to have to sit, I didn't want to have to do the podcast, and we're feeling the pressure about doing the podcast. Not feeling super communicative, not feeling super, um, we always sit together, but not feeling super like touchy feely, just needing a little bit of that of my own space. But I needed you to understand that it wasn't necessarily anything from you. There was something that had happened that I need to work through, but it's not you personally.
Right, right.
Like,
There's
and
been
I think
so
we've gotten
a miscommunication
right, but I think we've
that we
got
can talk about at another time, but we both gave ourselves
the time to
the
process
time to
that, to be
process
able to
it,
say, this is what I need the next
to
time.
de-escalate.
Yeah, instead
Yeah,
of blasting each other. I
right.
think that's really what I'm coming like
Yeah. If
in
you
the
had
old
blasted me,
days,
then I would.
it would have been I got pissed, I blasted you, vice versa, and then
Mhm.
we fight, or then we're uncomfortable for weeks at a time. This way it was more like a, hey, I've got this thing that's going on. I need you to know I don't want to talk about it, but if I'm funky or like grumpy
And
or
vice
grouchy
versa.
or
Yeah.
whatever that looks like, if things are not normal, this is why, and I can't, you can't fix it. So give me the space that I need. And I think that
Yeah.
that in and of itself has been huge.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, and from my perspective, a real relief because so what we're talking about is complete miscommunication. Nothing that either of us had an issue with. It's just it was communicated poorly. And so, but just to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, we need to talk about this another time.
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. And we've talked about this before. Sometimes when we get upset with one another, we kind of just take a few days internally to think about it and process it before we speak up. And a lot of times it just goes away. We're like, oh yeah, yeah, whatever. It really wasn't that big of a deal. We'll still talk about this,
Right.
but I'm not minimizing this, but we've learned how to process things ourselves before we just get on fire and jump on each other because we really, well, actually we've really never done that.
Right.
We've
But we
never.
bottled it before. I
Well,
think what you did in the past, we probably suppressed it, whereas now we're more comfortable with saying, "Hey, we're more comfortable with our own vulnerability." And I'm going to say this is only in the last 6 years. I mean, we've been together a long time,
mm,
and we scratch these surfaces. But the longer you're together, I think sometimes these skills fade faster, and so we've had to reinvent these skills
that's a
as we've
great
come
point.
into
Yeah,
as we've come into the lifestyle because we have no choice.
right.
And so this is
Reinvent
where
and hone these skills.
right. And
Yeah.
this is where these new skills of kind of allowing each other the space, allowing each other the we went to an event one time, and one of the things we had to do was thank you had to say no, and the other person had to say thank you for taking care of yourself. Like you
Mhm.
had to make a request, and this is I will tell her next time I see her for sure that I use this all the time. But I've used this constantly. It's like someone tells you no, don't get upset about it. Go, wow, thank you for taking care of yourself. And that's kind of what this is to me. It's
Mhm.
like, hey, I need these couple of days. I still love you. It doesn't mean anything. That it's like not the end of the world. We're gonna talk about it eventually. But right now I need to take care of myself and to not blast you, I need to figure out what that looks like and see what that feels like. And I think we've gotten better at being able to allow each other that space
Yeah, yeah,
in the
absolutely.
last couple of years. This is not,
Right.
this is because of the lifestyle. This is not because we were great communicators beforehand. You know what I'm saying?
I think
I
we
mean,
were.
we were okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
no, we've gotten
we were
better,
pretty fucking good before.
but we've
But
gotten
but this is PhD level, interspousal communication.
better. And I think the other thing too, and I really wanted to talk about this piece too as well. So let's bring it into the lifestyle piece. So we have gotten frustrated with each other. And I will own the fact that you were very frustrated with me. And part of what I actually said in that message was, I'm not sure that I can be what you need me to be for you. in the lifestyle, because right now I can barely, I mean, there are days where everything is just great, and then all of a sudden, like, that wave hits me, and I don't even know where that comes from, and this is so foreign to me that, it has skewed everything for me. And we've been working through this for about the past year, where I've said, I don't, we used to sit on the sofa. Say we were going to go to, whatever, Splash, uh, Houston, and we would sit together and we would look at the couples and we would say, "Ooh, let's reach out to this couple. Let's reach out to that couple." And I'm like, I don't have the time in my mind. Let's not put it that way. I do have the time. I don't have the energy, and I don't have the emotional, stability or strength right now to kind of want to try and engage with somebody on a level that I normally would try and engage with folks. So I asked Tristan and the four of us, because the four of us are kind of navigating this lifestyle together. And I said, for me, trying to set up MFMs or even couples dates or even 6 or 8-way play dates is really tough. I don't want to have any responsibility in setting anything up or having to be on for anybody right now. And so for me, going to house parties, going to events like the Cinco de Mayo, going to Naughty in New Orleans, things like that, where we can go, and I don't have to expend a lot of energy on the front end of it, um, is what I think helps me. But that's very frustrating for you, and it has not been successful.
Right. Yeah, because I have the complete opposite way of approaching the lifestyle. And for me, um, communicating with people and forging relationships with people by meet and greets and so forth is kind of how I'm wired. It's kind of how you're wired also, but not in this particular time.
Right.
And so that's what I'm understanding now, and have come to understand that for you now, events and parties is that it's a no stress, unplugged way to go have fun. Whereas,
And even if I don't play, because my body's betraying me sometimes, but I can still go to the parties and have an amazing time and meet amazing people.
right,
Where it's not like it's a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-2 or a 6-on-6 or whatever, what I'm saying.
whatever the permutation of
6-on-6. Ooh, let's do that.
yeah,
Yeah, see, so there's still a spark there.
that's right.
I still get excited about some of these things. I heard you laughing at
Whatever the permutation of naked writhing bodies is, then you're all in.
still there.
Sometimes.
It's just, right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
At this moment right now.
Right.
Whatever time this is. In like 20 minutes, it may be gone. We don't know.
So anybody out here, jump on right now.
Where's the 6-on-6? We need a 6-on-6. That's like a football game or basketball game. 5-on-5. Let's do 5-on-5. Oh yeah, that too. But though, seriously, I mean,
But the point of all of that
Yeah.
is, yes, it is incredibly frustrating for me because I'm steady. Yes, let's go. Yes, I want to play all the time.
and you're constantly on the lookout, and you're constantly looking for folks and looking for opportunities and looking for ways that we can go and intermingle and mix and
Right.
find other people. And I'm just
and
like,
that's how we entered the
just,
lifestyle.
I know.
And so this is on me to then understand how to pivot and to be loving and supporting for the most important human being in my life and the love of my life and my soulmate. I need to pivot and be able to be and just be accommodating uh, and
How's that working for you?
and I was going to say and be loving and
You are, but
Yes.
it makes you grumpy, babe. Let's be honest.
I've had some grumpy
You've
moments.
had some grumpy moments, and at which I go, yep, be grumpy, because I'm going to allow you that space, because I'm not fucking going to be like, oh, well, then let's go. And there have been times that, like, I think I even said to you maybe 2 or 3 months ago, there was something that was coming up, and I said, it's almost like it wasn't this way, but I needed to tell you how I was feeling. I was like, it's almost like you're saying take one for the team, and I'm like, I'm not gonna take one for the team. I can't even remember what the situation was. It was something, and I was just like, but I really don't want to. And it was, so I needed you to understand
Well,
that that was what it felt like for
right.
me. It was, and it may have been something so
And when
minor.
you
And at that time, I can't remember what it was, but I remember saying,
put it that way,
yeah,
because I was in no way asking you
right.
to
I
take
know.
one for, I would never would. But when you put it to me that way, that helped. That was, I think, was like the first ray of light for me to understand, like, oh shit, she's serious. I mean,
Yeah.
and so that helped me to understand and to start. I mean, I always listen to you, but I don't always hear
Hear
and
me.
understand you. And so I think that moment was like, oh shit, that's when we started talking a little bit more deeply
Yeah.
about this. And so, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
What,
much deeper than I really realized. I knew that you're unhappy. I knew that you were having issues with your mother and your family and physical issues. I'm very empathetic to all those things, but hearing you talk that way really opened up a window to how deeply this phase
right.
is affecting you.
Right.
And so I thank you for that, for helping to understand that.
You're welcome.
Because, well, no, seriously,
No, I
because I
really,
because
no.
I did not understand the depth.
Well, I know, and I didn't know how to put it either. And I think that I was glad that I was able to say that. Similarly to then a couple weeks ago, where I was also where I had to say, I'm not sure that I could be what you need me to be in the lifestyle. And again, it's not saying there's nothing negative against me, nothing negative against you. We are just on something my mom said years and years and years and years ago is that when you're married, you're on a wheel together. It's like a hamster wheel. You're on a hamster wheel together. And sometimes though, your wheel, you might be at the top and your partner's at the bottom. So you're totally out of sync. You're still wheeling and eventually your wheels kind of come back together and then you're both working together and it's all aces and awesome. And then you start to get out of sync again. And my mom said that a million years ago. I've always thought that's such a great analogy because it's true. We've been so many times where we're just totally off out of sync, but then you catch back up and then you're like, when we first entered the lifestyle, man, we were firing on cylinders.
Yeah.
We are unstoppable, by the way, when
Right.
we're firing on all cylinders. Look what happened. But we're out of sync again.
Yeah.
And what's almost more frustrating is because it feels like there's a little bit more, not necessarily at risk, but there's more that it's us being out of sync is causing a little bit more of a rift between us. But we are so much better at talking about it
Right.
that we're able
We can make up for it.
to kind of, yes, to make it easier. So it's like we have this rift, but yet it's not separating us. It's just allowing each of us to be in that space. And one of the things we talked about too is that um unfortunately, but fortunately for us, is that we are involved in another relationship with another couple who where we all seem to be very similarly aligned. And people will ask us a lot about Phoenix and Crimson and why we think this relationship, or how we're getting ready to celebrate 4 years together as couples, which is still blows our collective minds.
Right.
But we realize that part of what makes it work is where we are. And you and Crimson are so aligned right now. Your wheels are together, and Phoenix and I are in the same place. Emotionally, physically, and even family wise, we're in the same place. And so it's this weird opportunity to be able to say, because when I said to you, I'm not sure that I can be what you need me to be in the lifestyle. I said that and I meant it with my whole heart, but I wasn't scared about it because I know you have this amazing woman in your life who I love, who you love, who is more aligned where you are. And I'm not necessarily stopping you. I feel like if we didn't have them in our lives, I would maybe take one for the team. I might push a little bit harder. I might not advocate for myself as much. Um, because I probably would feel more pressure. There's no release or relief for me in that sense to help you
Mhm.
be happy. And I want my partner to be happy. I want the person that I love to be happy. And so in a weird way, that's been an amazing gift as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that and love you for that. And because you know, that's really important for me to hear. That validation that my relationship with my girlfriend is, you know, that important that it can kind of take up some slack for what we're lacking. And I'm going to tell you that, I mean, it obviously goes the other direction as well, you know, with Phoenix. And so because he, you know, she can fulfill needs for me that you're not able to at the time. He fulfills needs for you that I'm not able to at the time. And in the beginning of this adventure, I think we talked about in episode 16 or 17, that was very terrifying for
Right.
both of us.
Right. Right.
Now it's just that's how we are.
Right.
We understand and accept that as our truth. And this is a great example of how that really is true. That, you know, we fulfill each other right now in a way that we can't. You and he fulfill each other right now in a way that we can't.
Right.
And so, how lucky are we? That's amazing. It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. And and again, this is kind of why we wanted to talk to you guys about this, to kind of verbalize it for ourselves.
And by the way, this is the first time we're talking about
Yeah.
a lot of this. I mean, so
Well, this is how we do
yeah,
it, though. This is
exactly.
important that you
Yeah,
hear it honestly and truthfully. I mean,
right.
we've talked about the kind of the overarching things, but I think that when I think about this in other lifestyle relationships, and I'm thinking about you guys that are listening, and you're not in a relationship with that, you have another couple that has matched so well with you, there's still value in what we're talking about. I think if we were not with Phoenix and Crimson, but yet let's even look back, if you were still, like, if Amber was still in our lives, it would be the same thing. It's the same, where maybe even if I'm not connected with somebody, but I would still say to you, you go forth, because this is our dynamic. I would still say, you go forth, you do what you need to do. The same rules. Yes, go chat with folks. If you want to go out and if you want to be the third for a couple, be the third. Just, all those things. I don't know that we would, I don't, 2 or 3 years ago, we would not have been as open about that and as
Yeah,
safe and secure.
yeah, you're right. And that's just growth in the lifestyle and growth in our relationship and growth with us individually,
Yeah.
personally. And so, but yeah, I think you're right.
So I think that to kind of bring this all back in together, and why we wanted to share this with you guys and help explain a little bit about where we are in our journey, is that we don't know where we are in our journey.
Right.
That's really the bottom line.
Yeah.
You guys, you hear us talking about things that happened, and those were years ago. Over a couple of years ago, and we did that on purpose. That was part of what we wanted to share our journey with you. And the way that it happened, because we recorded things, is because it's an amazing gift to be able to say, here we are, and all these different things that we went through, that we like sharing. But it has put us a little bit in a time capsule, and so we're beyond that now. And now all these new challenges are coming up, and we didn't want to do the disservice of not talking about these challenges now. So we've talked a lot about what we want to do in moving forward with our stories and our journey. And I think what we really talked about was, this was incredibly important for me to come on and tell you guys what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing, because I know that there are women out there that are like me, that are feeling like this was awesome a while ago, and now I'm not really sure, but I'm not sure why, and all those things we have to work through. You're not the only one. Our bodies are playing tricks on us, or whatever it looks like for you, or they're just aging out. I don't know, but we're going to come on the other side better. And again, I'm at this amazing place where I see these amazing women that are 15, 20 years older than I am, that are living their most authentic lives. So I know that that's there for me, and this is here for us. But right now I'm really struggling. And so we wanted to tell you that. We wanted to talk about it, but we don't want to stop what we do, what we love, which is bringing this stuff to people, so that you never feel like what you're experiencing is not true. So we're going to shift things up a little bit. We don't want to not talk because I can't feel sexy though, and I can't sit and talk about how great things were when I was exploring my kink side or deciding what that looked like, when right now I can't even get excited. It's just a chore. Um, like even to find a cute outfit to wear. I'm like, ugh, nothing looks good. And ladies, you know what I'm talking about. So I feel like that's part of what we're doing. And so we wanted to be open and transparent and honest about what's happening with us. With the podcast, we're going to continue to obviously be here. This is who we are. But I think it may be even more fun and more beneficial to kind of talk about where we are now. So
Right.
we're gonna start to morph some of that together. So we're talking about what's happening with us right now. We'll do an episode where we talk about those things that happened then. We'll do an episode where we'll talk about what we did in New Orleans. I'm sure it will be a wild and crazy time, and hopefully we'll have lots of stories. And so maybe we'll tell those stories within, this is what happened, and then we'll go back and revisit them later on if
Right.
we want to.
Yeah, I think that the point is we're going to be very flexible and fluid in how we proceed because we love producing the podcast, and we love the connections that we have made and are making with all of you. Yeah,
Sound good?
by the way, we're outside right now, and so
Keep going. Keep going. Bugs flying. It's okay. I'm cool. I live in Florida. It's
that's
all
right.
good.
We're used to it.
Good. Yeah.
So we love what we're doing, and we are absolutely going to continue it. It just might be a little bit different, and we don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
But you know what, that's very, part and parcel to how we live our lives. We just kind of let it go, let it flow, and it's going to take us where it belongs and where we need to be.
Yeah.
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 And so, yeah, as you mentioned, we will go back and revisit what we did
Yes.
before the pandemic, before all this started, before the podcast started, because there's some fucking amazing shit back there. And
Yeah.
we've got some really amazing stories to tell, and those will come out. But we're also gonna probably do more topical type things.
Yep.
And interviews, and we're just gonna kind of let it flow and see where things go. And we want to give you, the listeners, what you want, which is kind of a smorgasbord of of what we have to offer, because
Right.
we have a lot more to offer than just what we were doing in 2019.
Right. Our lives have changed so drastically since then. So yeah. So yeah. So
So buckle up.
buckle. I was just gonna say that it's a bumpy ride, but it's an amazing journey and an amazing ride. And it was so important for us to let you know where we are and why things might start to seem a little bit different. So I hope that you love it. I hope that you find value, and I hope that you find the stories and things that you need when you need them, that work for you, that whatever it is that you're looking for. We love sharing this life with you.
And what I hope that really comes through at its heart, and I believe that it has through the prior 45 episodes and will continue to do so, is the deep love and commitment that we have to each other. And the deep love and commitment that we have to our marriage, our relationship, our friendship. And I can't get enough of that, and I hope that comes through in everything that we do. And our sincerity and our authenticity, I hope, really does come through in everything that we do. And we hear it, from just this afternoon. I mean, the people that we meet, everywhere we go, that's kind of, the glue that we have that connects us with, with our tribe, and that's us. And so I hope that I hope everybody values that as much as we do.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I think that the other thing too, again, is to lend voice and understanding that anything that you're experiencing, other people have too as well. And we're all just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the face of the bug. Did I eat it? I don't know. But we're all just trying to figure it out. And so and so with that though, I mean, that was pretty much it. Thank you. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to you because because I said that this was really important for me to get up here and talk about.
Yeah.
And
for me
we've
too.
it's taken a while to kind of get the nerve up to sit and talk about this and really talk about what we want to talk about. But life is life. and life can be challenging, and it we're gonna work through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we hope that you guys hang around to listen and hang in and join in. And we also want to hear your stories too. So we've talked about that too. We're starting to collect some stories from listeners. So we'll start to share some of those as well. If you're interested in sharing a story or your origin story with us, or maybe you have an accidental swinger story as well, we'd love to hear that. So just reach out to me, Myrina at accidentalswingers.com. That's my email, or you can also email Tristan because he loves getting email. His email is
Tristan at accidentalswingers.com.
so it's a tough one.
Tristan.
Yeah.
No Y in there.
Oh yeah, no, mine's with a Y.
Yeah.
And of course, you can always find us on Instagram, or Instagram's definitely the better place to do it, or social media. And don't forget, if you want to come with us and go to these events with us, we would love for you to join us. Go to our website, click on the events page, and find an event that looks like it would be amazing for you to join us. Let us know that you're planning on coming. We will connect with you,
Yes.
and we will connect you with others that are also going on whatever events or trips that we're going on, and we'll start little groups. And it's just so fun. It's
Oh
just
my
so
God,
fucking
it's so
fun.
fun.
It's just so fun.
Yeah.
So can never imagine going on another trip now where we don't tell everybody that we're going and say who wants to come with us, and then we all create a little group to go together. So it's just awesome. But anyway, so that's what we'll be doing. Anything else that you have to share?
I think we nailed it.
I love you.
I love you too, dear.
Thank you for being in this life with me.
And thank you.
Well, they can't hear you.
I know. And thank you.
And you said thank you for being the best wife ever. Is that what I?
That
they
is
couldn't hear
precisely
you.
what
They
I
couldn't hear you. Okay. Oh, good. Just making sure. Just making sure. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And we'll be back. Let me know. Let us know. Write to us. Let us know if there's things you want us to talk about. Also, if you have thoughts or ideas or things or suggestions.
Yeah, absolutely.
For topical or shows or episodes or things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd love to hear.
Absolutely.
Them. Yeah. All right. That's it for us. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Take care.